Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered. Three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, Armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is, who cares? It's Patreon bonus call-in stuff. We're recording it on a Tuesday night. I don't know when you're going to listen to this. You could listen to this any day. Joining me to talk to our lovely Patreon backers, the Manders. Danders. I put it the wrong way around. Sorry about that, Danders. Hi, how are you?
Danders the Manders.
Danders the Manders.
Danders the Manders with the Planders. I'm good. I'm living large, so how are you?
I'm in charge. This is my thing. You forgot the in charge part. You just said living large.
Well, I just abbreviated it. It's like how The Rock used to be Rocky Maivia,
Yeah.
and then he was just The Rock, and
So-
now he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
But why wouldn't you? Yeah, you made it long. Why wouldn't you go with LLIC then?
Because I don't understand that reference.
No, just like LLIC, living large in charge. LLIC.
It's not that much shorter.
LLIC, that's way shorter than living large and in charge.
Yeah, but it's not shorter than living large.
This is true. This is true. But then you miss out a vital part of it. I don't know, man. I'm just feeling confrontational. We're running late. We're behind. We're behind the times already. Unfortunately, one of our Patreon backers, Jules, he regrets that he's not able to make it today. So I think we should do these call-in shows more frequently anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry if I sound weird. I'm just eating a pie because I had like a 5-hour nap and I woke up starving.
Right.
This is Canberra, so everything's closed. So I just got a pie.
Yeah.
I love it. This was my favorite podcast of the last, since I've come on board. So I'm happy to do them more often. I think it's good to get a fresh perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's why we do it, so we can get more people's voices out there and everything. So with that in mind, let's bring in Chapo and see what Chapo wants to talk about.
How are we going?
Not bad, man. Yourself?
Living large. I already said this. No more questions. No, I'm joking. I'm well.
Cool. How are you doing, Greg?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I'm a bit flustered because the kids didn't go to sleep when they were supposed to go to sleep. And my partner got called into work. That's why we were late, by the way, everyone. My partner got called into work, and so I had to do the whole bedtime routine and stuff, which is fine. Like, I love doing it. But they just took forever to go to sleep.
Give them a shot of whiskey and they'll be fine.
Yeah. That's what people say, but I feel like I would have ethical issues with that, personally. Super kick, maybe that'll sort them out. Super kick. Is that worse? I feel like that's probably worse.
Just remember.
I don't think there's a question that's worse.
No,
Look, Greg,
but I slap the thigh and they know
exactly.
to fall down. It's not like I don't actually connect with them. They watch wrestling too. They get it.
But that's not going to put him to sleep.
It'll make them
Greg.
lay down at least. They were jumping on me. It was awful.
Your kids are going to no-sell you.
So, Chapo,
Greg,
what did you... Yeah.
just one thing before we get onto the wrestling.
Okay.
Just remember, a wise man once told me, moral is just oral with an M. So don't worry about the morals and ethics about giving your kids a shot of whiskey. Just do it.
Just oral with it. I don't understand this reference.
Oral doesn't mean sexual necessarily.
Yeah, oral
It
is
means
just
taken by the mouth.
oral is just
oral
of the mouth. That's
Yeah.
okay. It's just of the mouth with an M. All right. So what did you want to? Let's get to the wrestling. Maybe you'll have better insights
Okay.
there. I think.
Oh, sweet, thanks, man. You totally underrate the Forgotten Son.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I knew this was coming, people. I knew this was coming. Chapo's had a go at me through multiple online avenues because of my hatred for the Forgotten Sons. Sell me on them. Sell me like
Right.
I've never seen them, and tell me why they're so great.
Okay, on NXT you got the flashy heel tag teams. You got the Undisputed Era. They're the flashy, cocky heels. The
Right.
Forgotten Sons are just the smash mouth, powerhouse ones that don't do anything flashy. They go out there, they beat up the jobbers, they make themselves look strong. It's their job. They're not meant to be. You say you got to boo the heels and all that.
Yeah.
You don't boo the flashy ones, but you boo the powerhouse ones that go in there and just smash blokes.
Well, I'll
That's
boo any
exactly
heel if
what they
they're.
are.
I'll boo any heel if they're good at being a heel. I just feel like the Forgotten Sons are just snoozy. Like they're charisma black holes, except for Jackson Riker with the weird spelling. Except for him, he's the only one in the group that I feel like actually has any kind of star quality. But the other guys, like I don't even know their names. Like that's one of them used to be Buddy Murphy's partner, right?
Pretty much until injuries got in the way, and then Buddy Murphy went on to bigger things.
What do you think of this, Danders? You've watched very minimal NXT. Did Forgotten Sons stand out to you at all?
I'm gonna probably say no, because when you said Forgotten Sons, I was like, I wonder if this is some fancy Japanese team. I'm not amazing on the NXT front unless it's one of the big names, unless it's like someone who's got a belt.
Yeah.
Or someone who's, like especially handsome. Prob's not going to know who you're talking about.
The Forgotten Sons are the guys.
I know the women's division pretty well.
The Forgotten Sons are the guys. Let me clue you in. They're the ones that basically look like Confederate bikers. Like they're.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So see, when I say that, you know who I'm talking about. Because let's be honest, the gimmick's a little bit problematic, isn't it?
They're meant to be like returned soldiers.
Okay.
So hence the military get-ups and stuff.
Right.
And they're meant to look like bikers.
Yeah, it's like a Sons of Anarchy thing, right?
Yeah, kind of.
And a lot of outlaw motorcycle gang members are returned veterans, and veterans are, especially in America, forgotten by pretty much everywhere. Really, veterans tend to be quite, sort of left out of the loop, forgotten by society. They are. They go through the shit to keep us all free, and then they don't really get taken care of, and they come home with all sorts of issues, and and sometimes they find fraternity in that, but it doesn't make it any less problematic, right? Like, I feel like these guys would not associate with the Street Profits.
Well, they're probably fighting over the same corners that they're working on, man. Gang warfare style, mate. Come on.
Well, hang on. Aren't the Street Profits just ballers? I don't even know anymore.
He's about the grind and all that kind of stuff, man. That's what they do.
See, because now I feel like you're being problematic because you're assuming that they're gangbangers. They're ballers, dude. They're always, every time you see them, I guess there was that one where they were like conspicuously hanging out near an ATM. That one promo.
Yeah. And then there was the one where they were hanging out in an empty shopping center.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Fair call. So there's a lot of shady characters on NXT at the moment. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're not selling me on, like, and here's the thing. I'm a fan of Sons of Anarchy too, right? Sons of Anarchy, good TV show. Aces and Eights, not so much.
Aces and Eights were a IGA version of Sons of Anarchy. Yeah,
and Forgotten Sons are like the low-rent version of Aces and Eights. At least Aces and Eights had Taz and Bully Ray.
What is wrong with IGA? The Independent Grocers of Australia. My favourite supermarket.
I will say this, they charge through the frickin' roof, man. IGA. I once
you're
bought.
supporting local business.
Yeah, but I once bought Core Power Foods.
Global.
I
Think
just.
global. Support local.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I once bought Core Power Foods, right, which I can get at my local mass nutrition store, right? And they're $6, and it says on the freaking thing $6.99. It says it on it, and then at IGA it had $6.99 on the sticker, and then right below it on the barcode thing it was like $9.99 for this meal. That is clearly $7 everywhere else in the world.
Well, you know what you should have done? Taken a leaf out of Heavy Machinery's book and just done steaks and weights, baby.
Steaks and weights, baby. Steaks and weights.
Yeah.
What was with their thing on Raw today?
Oh, that was fucking horrible.
With Lacey
It-
Evans.
I don't know what it was about.
What's
It's like-
Danders? Do you understand what Lacey Evans' gimmick is now?
Yeah,
Where did
act like a lady, act like a lady.
Where did she even come from today? Where did
So-
she come from?
Wait, so I don't know. So her whole thing, right, is act like a lady, walk like a lady, or whatever. But is that all a lady does? Ladies just show up and then turn around and walk away? Is that? I don't
And
understand.
punch people with her right hand.
I don't understand this. I have no idea where it's going. Did you watch Raw today, Chapo?
Yes, I did. I watched Raw. I thought the audience was absolutely fucking shithouse.
They were
Like
awful.
they reacted to nothing. Like you could have had Foley versus Undertaker there, Hell in a Cell, and none of them would have said anything. They should never go back to Lafayette. Lafayette should be banned. Never go there again.
Cancelled. Cancel that town.
Yeah.
I was.
Cancel it.
You get a hot MCW crowd would be rowdier and better than that crowd.
I was thinking to myself, a PWA crowd would have made more noise than that 10,000 seat stadium today. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. I didn't even really take note of the crowd because I tuned in because they had that whole, oh, the NXT guys are here, right? Like it was on all the dirt sheets, and then WWE sort of did their new thing where they're like, we're just going to announce this on our own social media because everyone else is talking about it anyway. So I tuned in where normally I would be doing work and other things and like stuff with the kids and what have you on a Tuesday morning. I don't always watch Raw live. I prefer to watch the highlights, obviously. Sometimes coming off a pay-per-view, I'll watch it live, right? I tuned in because I'm like, the NXT guys are there. This could be really awesome. They could have some amazing angle planned. Like I had some fantasy booking in my head that Danders knows about. We talked about on the Elimination Chamber wrap-up show where, you know, Triple H and Vince sort of wrestle for control. Well, they don't wrestle. They get NXT guys and WWE guys and wrestle for control of the company kind of thing so that Vince can go do his XFL stuff, right? Like that's my fantasy booking. And when I saw that there were 4 NXT guys there, I'm like, holy shit, my fantasy booking's coming true. I gotta watch this. And then Triple H just comes out and he's like, by the way, we're calling up 4 guys and 2 of them are like our major frickin' champions and they're here now. And it was really underwhelming. And I was like, okay, so there's no super secret awesome angle that's going to happen. So I kind of tuned out and just had it on in the background. That's my long way of saying I didn't pay much attention to the crowd. But
well, it would be like if that crowd saw it, right? Like they're like with the whole what's happened between Gargano and Dream. Him carrying the title right now is a bit like him carrying the title today was a bit strange. Like, you know what I mean? With like, you probably know the spoilers that things have happened in the tapings and whatnot. But him carrying the title, even though it's changed hands in the tapings, it's
whoa! No, I don't pay attention to the spoilers, man. You listen to the show. What are you doing? You know I don't. What are you doing?
It's everywhere, man. It punched me in the face. The spoilers.
I'm gonna have to drop a spoiler alert stinger there. No, I don't.
Sorry.
I stay away from that. Like anything that hasn't aired. Like I like to watch NXT, especially. I like to watch it fresh. So wait. So who's with? No. Don't tell me. Actually, you've just said him carrying the title. So I don't want to know. But yeah, all I know is that I thought that they fucked up the call-ups. Personally.
Yeah. I do agree. They should have had it at a wrestling town, not Lafayette. Not some bumfuck country town.
Well, I mean, all due respect to the people in Lafayette, of course. I'm sure there are lovely people there. But, you want to bring them up in New York.
I don't think anyone in Lafayette is listening.
You'd be surprised, man. I can check our analytics. our US listenership has actually jumped quite a bit lately. So
Yeah.
But yeah, CJ spoiled it for me on one of the podcasts when I was talking about Black History Month, and he was like, "Rah rah rah," and I was like, "Ah la 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 la," fingers in ears.
yeah, it bums me out, man. This is a spoiler-free
Sorry, brother.
zone, Chapo. Don't make me cancel you.
I'm-
I won't cancel you. You pay me money. So
I'm sorry, Reddit has ruined the Reddit wrestling community's ruined me.
yeah, I feel like the Reddit wrestling community ruins everyone that comes into contact with it.
I know, it's the worst.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, man?
Yeah, I'm wondering that, like, with the state of people being called up and going overseas, like, say, could you possibly see more talent, like, say, MCW and PWA having more of a sharing of talent kind of deal going on?
Like
You know what I
amongst
mean? Like-
themselves?
Yeah, amongst themselves, like saying, okay, we've got a show coming up. We need, say, Law, Brat Pack, and say Erica Reed, for example, come up to Sydney, and MCW going, well, we've got X amount of space. Could we use Ricky South, the Velocities, and Belle Pierce, for example? You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. You know,
My understanding of it is that both companies are very open with sharing their stars and things like that. I know that particularly the Brat Pack gimmick, it used to be exclusive to MCW because when the two of them would perform elsewhere, they would go by a different name or whatever. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Yeah.
And shows are deliberately booked on separate dates, and usually separate weekends so that talent can go, can move freely.
Yeah.
I think it's more of an expense issue. Because obviously to fly out talent or to fly in, like our local wrestling shows, they're not making huge amounts of money. I know the people behind the scenes, it's very much a passion project. It's because when you, especially like for me, as probably the one example that sticks out in my mind the most is when the MCW tag team champions were Sid Parker and Caveman Ugg. And due to a lot of different things, the belts went, I think there was 2 defenses in 7 shows or something like that, which is when MCW is a monthly show.
yeah,
that was insane. It's like they took them off the Brat Pack, who everyone, even though we're supposed to hate them, everyone loves, and then put them on these guys, and then we kept seeing Sid solo or seeing neither of them. It's very hard, and it's also very hard to invest in people if you're not going to be seeing them every show.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But considering how often both companies would fly in Robbie Eagles and Adam Brooks and Jonah Rock, now that 2 of those, not that Robbie Eagles has gone, he's not gone for good, but I assume hopefully for Robbie we'll be seeing less and less of him because he'll be doing international exports.
So I feel like that's the wrong hope. I want to hope that we're seeing just as much of him, but then he's also flying over to Japan to do Wednesday, Thursday shows and all that sort of stuff. Like I want him to still be here.
Obviously, we want to be seeing him, but I hope for Robbie that we don't see as much of him because that means that he's being booked all around the world.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
One last.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say one last thing before you get the next dude on. With the Black Metal tournament, Black Metal being handed out this week, what do you think the next thing will be for the next Coliseum tournament? Like, will it be a shield? Will it be
How cool would it be
else?
if they slowly start building an entire suit of armor and they can have these guys? I think that because there's like gauntlets elsewhere. Like there's gauntlets in Nui Pro, right? And then there's a shield, I think, in New Horizons Pro Wrestling, and up in New Valhalla they have a helmet. Like we could already do this with Aussie Wrestling. We could build a suit of armor. I don't know what the next Coliseum prize will be. I do know from talking to Jack Bonza, though, that they're hoping for the next Coliseum tournament to do it all in one weekend. So that's going to be a flying event for
unreal.
sure. Yeah.
That would be unreal.
I want to see more like weekender events.
Yeah, because they said something
I know
about.
that,
Sorry, they said something about releasing details of the next tournament at this current show coming up.
Oh wow, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Diego said it at the last show, I think. I'm pretty sure he did. At the next show, we're going to have details of the next Coliseum tournament and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I mean, obviously, I don't have any insider info or anything. I'm watching this stuff as a fan, like you do, and yeah. So basically, you actually know more than me here because I didn't even know that he said that. It wasn't in the version that went up on PWA Play. So
I must have edited a bit out.
yeah. So it's one of those things. Like I'm looking forward to finding out what they do. I really hope that they do manage to do it as a full weekend thing next year, because I'd be really excited to go up for that. Maybe they just do the sword again. Maybe the sword hold, or maybe like the winner of the tournament has to face the winner of last year's. So say, for example, who are you picking for this weekend?
My boy Bonza.
Bonza? Okay, so say Bonza wins the sword. Next year's tournament, Paris de Silva wins the tournament, and then he challenges, like, so after the final, there's another final where he has to challenge Jack Bonza for the actual sword itself, right?
I like this booking, Greg. I like this booking.
This is just like...
It is good in theory, but I think the idea of planning something for an independent wrestler so far in advance,
yeah, you really couldn't do that.
Yeah, well, maybe
even planning that for something like WWE to try and plan something in advance. So much can happen. You don't know where he's going to be in a year's time. But I like it in theory.
Well, if my hopes and dreams come true, the Four Nations are going to All Elite Wrestling, right? So Bonza may not be around to defend the sword, in which case the sword's kind of vacated, I guess, and so the sword just goes to the person who wins it next year, unless he takes the sword with him to All Elite Wrestling, which, I mean, power to you, bro.
I don't think him and Hoffman would go because of all their commitments back here.
I want to see Bonza and Moretti, or Bonza and Hoffman. Like, I don't care which version, but I want them in the All Elite. I want them in the All Elite tag division.
Why does it have to be Bonza or Hoffman? What about Moretti and Jessica Troy, or Moretti and Madison Eagles? Why does it always have to be?
Because we don't know if All Elite aren't necessarily going all in on the intergender thing straight away. We don't know what their stance is going to be. So I'm just sort of hedging my bets here, right? But I think,
man, I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah, but I would love to see any combination, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
bring back the Pink Nation. Put Sean Custom in, right?
You've got Tammy Williams back. He was the Yellow Nation,
right? Yes,
send him with Moretti.
Yeah, Yellow Nation, please. I love yellow. I want to buy more yellow merch. Gavin McGavin's the only person who has yellow merch at the moment.
The worst color. Black is the best, mate.
Yellow is the color of the sun. It's the color of freedom and energy. I can't deal with this. I can't have you dissing the color yellow on my watch, man.
Well, if you're a portly gentleman, black's the slimming color.
What are you trying to say? Listen, all right.
I'm a portly gentleman, and black is a slimming color.
Okay, are we getting into this? Are we getting into the black shirt thing? Is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing?
It's the Black Shirt Cool Group.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting heat with everyone for this. I spoke earlier this week. I spoke to Unsocial Jordan, and he like, for the interview, you guys will hear it this Friday. Even he was like, beefing with me on the black shirt thing. Not beef, like he was like, you're just trying to get Concrete Davidson to get into a feud with you for the listens. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, Black Shirt Cool Group for life, man. Come on.
No, so me and Conco have had a bit of a back and forth on Twitter, and I'm personally, for me, I don't find black shirts cool. I'm like, every metal guy wears all black, and every wrestling fan wears all black, and I'm just like, I like to be different, I want color, I want variety, I want diversity. And so I back that with my wallet, and I've made a rule for myself. I will not buy black wrestling shirts. if I'm going to get a black wrestling shirt, it has to have an exceptional design, right? Like it's going to be very rare moving forward for me to buy black wrestling shirts. That said, I'm not against Black Shirt Cool Group. And when I tweeted about this, right, I was like, why can't it be Pink Shirt Cool Group? And Conco was like, that's the kind of outside the box thinking we like in Black Shirt Cool Group. So I'm cool with the Black Shirt Cool Group. I'm just not cool with the black shirts. Does that make sense?
Man, true, but some of the best wrestling shirts ever were black. You know what I mean?
The most iconic shirts from the 90s were the Austin 316 and the NWO. And they were both very simple designs, black and white.
Right.
Exactly.
Or black and red. I had the black and red NWO shirt when I was a kid, man. I loved it. And I would totally rock the Becky Lynch The Man shirt. I would totally wear that shirt. So I guess like it's going to depend on things, but generally speaking, I feel like there are too many black wrestling shirts. That's just my general stance on things. But we're going to let you go, Chapo. Thanks so much for calling.
No worries, man.
And we're going to...
You guys have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. And we're going to bring in our next caller, who is a voice that is familiar to most people. And I know he's going to be chomping at the bit to jump in here because we were talking PWA. Big Boy Mikey, how are you, man?
Yeah, Cobbers, how are we?
Yeah, good. I believe Danders is living large.
Previously stated twice, living large.
LLIC.
No, LLIC, that's just stupid.
It just reminds me of when CJ and I were fumbling our way through the NXT UK stuff, and we were like, something came up, and it was like HBIC. I'm like, that sounds like a health insurance fund. Like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up the NXT UK thing, Danders, because you guys were awful. But I appreciate you filling in for us.
Yes, definitely appreciate it.
In about 5 minutes, we talked about regular NXT for about 30 minutes, and then NXT UK was less than 5.
Yeah, it was good stuff. We'll have to cover both weeks, I reckon, Mikey, when we do our one this week.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
But yeah, so the PWA stuff, man, do you want to weigh in on that? Like, how PWA talent's going to go with all the signings and everything happening and even the black metal stuff?
Look, to start with, the PWA roster stuff, I think that the PWA crew, the Academy crew, have put themselves in this situation where they can handle it. The good thing about Japan or PWG or whatever is that they still can come home. Like, look at someone like a Will Ospreay, for example.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not the most popular guy in the world right now, but take him for example. He's got a full-time New Japan contract, but he's still able to run a promotion in the UK, Frontline Puro. Also, still work, Rev Pro, OTT, all that from time to time. So, if someone like a Robbie is able to live that Will Ospreay lifestyle with PWA, that's fine. If they sign a full-time contract with NXT, obviously that's a different story. But I think the PWA roster and the economy is primed and ready to handle losing stuff. Okay, maybe someone like a Wahlberg and that they really didn't think this quick, but it's not like he's going to go permanently,
right,
for a year or something.
Yeah, well, Matty Wahlberg's heading over to Fale Dojo for 3 months. Yeah. We don't know when he takes off. They've only just had a class start, right? So the Danders and her home promotion are feeling this because the Phillip brothers have just headed over there. I'm seeing all their Instagram stories. Philippe. For the longest time, man, I thought it was the Flip Bros. So
they do flip, so that's fine.
They do like to flip. And we used to call Tome To Me. Because it's like TOME. And so then when Stevie came across to MCW, he was To You, even though that doesn't make sense. And together they were the To Us brothers.
The To Us brothers. I like it.
Yeah,
but no, so Matty Wahlberg's not going to be gone forever. Obviously, It's like a 3-month thing. But as well, like there's people there, like you touched on, there's people there to take the place, right? Like Jackson Kelly's about to make his debut, right?
Yeah, well, Kelly Gang, Osborne's back. Ketis, the whole Kelly Gang's there. You got guys like Kai Drake that are chomping at the bit for main. Yeah, and stuff. You you got half the. I know we're not talking PWA here, but you got half the hoof party stuff. All of Hoffman's trainee crew up in Newey. Like, there's still a host of young talent.
There was that photo. There was that photo,
Yeah.
right? That from the tryout. I don't know. You and I were looking at the photo. Like, we have our little group chat and stuff where we all talk about things in. And when the photo came out of all the people that were at the tryout, and I think Maddie was tweeting about it, like, people are going to look back at this and be shocked at how many of the world's best wrestlers are in it. There were faces in that photo that were at this tryout, so they're good enough to be trying out for the Fale Dojo at least. And they're faces we've never seen.
Right. And there's still so much talent, like Wrestling Go and, Newey Pro and that will come to PWA sometime. They will come onto the main roster. Like, look at the women's match this week with what's her name? My apologies. I've had a name like Candy.
Yeah, Candy Lee is coming over from New Zealand. Yeah.
Look, there's talent. And most PWA shows they will not borrow, but one or two interstate guys will be in New South Wales, and they can jump on the card. Like, the Australian scene will be fine because I think a lot of the head trainer guys like JT, Bonds, all that, they know that their talent is ready to conquer the world. No pun intended. But yeah, they're fine. Like, I think they got talent ready to go. This show this week has got no Robbie on it. The last couple of shows have had, next to no Robbie, no Shazza, no from time to time. So there's, no Madison at the moment. So the big stars are already kind of drifting off in PWA, and it's the young guys like the Parises, the Judes, Kai, and Ricky, and Ugg's not even on this card yet on Friday night. And he's the champ. They're fine. They're fine with talent.
We're going to see a lot of, there's a lot of interstaters going around. Gavin McGavin's getting around and stuff. I feel like MCW bring in more interstaters than PWA do. PWA focus more on the homegrown, but I think the Australian scene is going to get smaller, not just as a result of people heading overseas and what have you, but just, we're all talking about it, right? And so people get on people's radars, and people, everyone is hungry, right? Because everyone's looking at the UK stuff and all the new pathways. There are so many pathways now to becoming a wrestler that gets paid to wrestle. And so the talent are hungrier and they're more willing to travel and stuff. I mean, the Brat Pack just went up to Sydney for that tryout, right? Did they have bookings last weekend?
I don't think so.
Just at IWA, and then they had that
was the week before, wasn't it?
Sorry, yes, that was the week before. And then they had a booking out west somewhere. I can't remember where it was. I don't know what the promotion was. But other than that, they haven't wrestled. I think they've just been crashing at Wahlberg's.
Yeah, well, they flew up just for the tryout, right? Which, I mean, this is the kind of dedication we're talking about. People are sometimes you even hear of talent that will fly their own way to certain shows. They still get paid their match fee, but they'll fly their own way. Because we're still a young scene, and people are hungry, man. So I feel like, the Australian scene's going to be absolutely fine. I don't think anyone's. I don't know. I feel like the UK scene's going to be fine too, and people getting all paranoid about the UK scene because of all the signing spree and stuff. I hope a lot of our guys get signed, man.
I mean, the pro wrestling scene will always be fine. There's always guys leaving WWE, so big names coming back to the indie scene. That indie scene learns off those guys that have been to WWE. They get experience. It's a never-ending cycle. There's, pro wrestling will always be fine. Rosters will always be fine. There might be a couple of months here and there. You're like, okay, it's a little bit down, but it's back. Look at NXT. The times that some people come up from NXT, like the era, like Balor's era, and Nakamura's era. Everyone came up, and everyone's like, "Oh, NXT's dead." Kidding. Look at the next set of rosters that came through. Rosters are easy to rebuild. It's just good academies and good training centers and and PWA. I know every Tuesday night they put their butts into it. But yeah.
Fair enough.
But PWA, I should point out I am 100% on Moretti winning the tournament this week.
Okay.
I think I think he definitely deserves the win. No offense to Bonzo, I'm sure he does too, but I think Moretti's just having one of the hottest 12 months in PWA, and I think he needs to capitalize and win
Man,
this all.
I go back and forth. I go back and forth on who I want to win. I'm just keen to watch the match. I'm keen to watch the entire show. I'm looking forward to it. I hope we get another quick turnaround.
Can I just touch back on the t-shirt thing? I know we're far removed from that.
Actually, because I have an opinion on this, so yes, I want to hear yours.
Here we go. All right.
Do not buy Grey Marl wrestling t-shirts or t-shirts in general. My favorite wrestling t-shirt is my Adam Brooks Get Around Me Fellas. It is a very light marl grey, and I'm not a sweaty person, but if it gets like above 17 degrees, you are getting some mighty impressive pit marks on those shirts.
Yes. I have a Kenny Omega shirt that has the exact same problem.
Yeah. It was so funny. On Saturday night I went to a show, and I'm the type of person who still gets absolutely starstruck around wrestlers, regardless of how small they are.
Right.
Small in terms of popularity, not in size. Anyway, I walk into this little tiny dingy shed in Cranbourne, buttfuck, Victoria, and at the door is Adam Brooks, and I'm in my Adam Brooks t-shirt. And he goes, "Oh, I like your shirt, Danders." And me, in my infinite wisdom, was like, "Oh, you can borrow it if you'd like." Yeah, that's loquacious with my words.
The social awkwardness that comes inherent in being a wrestling fan.
Because he doesn't have 50 in his suitcase ready to sell, Danders.
I know. And I got mine from Pro Wrestling Tees as well, so he probably didn't even make full dollar off the ones that I have to get, because wrestlers don't sell t-shirts like at shows in like girl sizes, and like I just like girl sizes better.
Right.
So anyway, that's it. That's a rant. Don't buy Grey Marl wrestling t-shirts. Don't buy Grey Marl clothing. It's a scam.
All right. And all right, let's hear it, Mikey. What's your opinion?
I'm 100% over black wrestling tees. I'm 100% over it.
Thank you.
My favorite piece of wrestling merch that I bought recently is Robbie's new Sniper of the Skies tank tops. He had one in green and one in grey.
Man, I need those so bad.
It was like, I'm wearing it right now as we speak, actually, and it's so comfy, and like it's just something different.
Yeah.
Sick of the same tees, like I got my Facebook t-shirt in blue. I make sure I change it up, but I'm so over black wrestling t-shirts.
See,
but
people listening, Big Boy Mikey. I mean, it's in his fucking name, right? Because the biggest excuse I've heard from everyone is, okay, it's the most slimming color, and I'm a bigger person, right? Which, I mean, no offense to, like, if that's your thing, and if you feel more comfortable wearing black, wear black, like 110%. Do you, boo? Like, I'm not saying otherwise, but I feel like I'm a larger guy, and I'm working on not being a larger guy, but I am a larger guy, and I just don't buy into that. I don't buy into that. I'm like, I still look freaking good. Where, like, my favorite shirt to wear out is my white Robbie Eagles shirt.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And you know what? One of the greatest t-shirts of all time. I know he's another guy that's very hated these days. But the famous Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania yellow and red shirt.
Right.
You know, it's one of the most famous t-shirts. I have one. Doesn't fit me so much anymore. But you know, still one of the best t-shirts ever. And it's, you know, yellow and red from the 80s. It's, well, the t-shirt's not from the 80s. But
yeah.
It's all fun.
The classic design. No, you know what, man? You talk about those Robbie Eagles tanks. I need more wrestling singlets. The Robbie Eagles tanks look amazing. I really want to get them. I didn't have money when I went to the Rampage show, so I couldn't pick them up. But I'm definitely hoping he gets down here again soon, because I want to grab me one of those. But also, you know what's really bummed me out? You know, Maddie Wahlberg was doing the jerseys, the Babes jerseys that you could get your name on the back of.
Just about to talk about that.
I pre-ordered, like, I emailed to do the pre-order and stuff. He gave me his PayPal. I shot through the money via PayPal, and I don't know, something fucked up somewhere. It's a PayPal fuck up. This isn't on Maddie at all. But the money bounced back to me, and I didn't realize until like 2 weeks later that the money had bounced back to me. And so now I don't get a Babes jersey, and so I'm really, really bummed about that.
Dude, I know. Like, I really wanted one. I really couldn't afford it at the time, which kind of sucked. But because it was a $50 pop. But I loved it though. See, like that's innovative merch. Both Maddie and Robbie, like, be innovative like that. Like that's great. Like Robbie can do even much more. I reckon he should start doing bandanas.
He does. He already does.
Yeah, but like more and more, like different colors.
He does. He has like 8 different colors. I have 2 of them right here. Like, yeah, he has. He always has new colors too. Every time I see him, he has a new color.
But yeah, more and more variations of merch is perfect. I know it costs more to make certain merch, but yeah,
dude, you know what Adam Brooks had the other day at the ACW show that blew my mind? He had those, like, I don't even know what you call them. You pop them on the back of your phone. Pop socket. Yeah, a pop socket. He had a pop socket with the Loose Ledge logo.
That's clever. Yeah, see, things like that's clever.
Yeah, I think even like items of merch that aren't t-shirts are really awesome. Like I know a few guys do like hats and stuff because I'm not someone who I wear dresses all the time. I very rarely will wear t-shirts. So if someone's selling like a hat or a bandana or a pop socket, that is far more up my alley. And it's also more, I guess, economically friendly for maybe like families and stuff who don't necessarily want to be shelling out for t-shirts all the time but still want to be repping their favorite person. I think it's a great idea. It's very innovative. Adam Brooks has always been very good on the merch game.
Yeah, I've got the Adam Brooks hat, right? And yeah, the pop sockets though. The pop sockets blew my mind. But there's other things too, like Katie Trey at Riot City Wrestling. So he's chomping Katie Trey, and he sells fingers, right? Like the foam fingers with a bite taken out of them. Have you guys go to World Series wrestling shows, right? Have you seen the Viking Grimm's merch?
No.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it back on our first ever cast. I think it was our first ever cast way back in June last year. I remember you talking about it, the horn.
He sells drinking horns.
Yeah.
Like Viking drinking horns. And he sells like necklaces with the Thor's hammer and stuff too. Like, yeah, it's step up your merch game for sure. Yeah, I like it when people think outside the box with their merch. I'm nothing else is coming to mind.
One I completely forgot. Probably the coolest one I've seen. Erica Reed sells voodoo dolls of both herself and of Sid.
No way.
Yeah, I think they're about $10 a pop. They look awesome. They've got like the blue hair and stuff. Because that's her whole thing. She's the Dreamtime Voodoo Witch.
Dreamtime Voodoo Witch, yeah, fucking A.
Dude, next time
they're very cool.
You ever see that? Grab me when I'm wiring you $10. I love that. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll pick her whenever I see her next. I've been seeing her more and more. Her and Avery particularly, like I know when people talk about women's wrestling in Melbourne, it's very much Kellyanne and Indy, and rightly so. They're two fantastic performers. Avery and Erica Reed have improved miles from where they were. They were very new when I first started going to shows. I don't even think Avery had started wrestling, and they are just. The rate that they're improving is insane, and I'm starting to see Erica at more shows, which is fantastic, and seeing Avery at more shows as well. Sorry, just need to get that plug in there.
When I hear about Melbourne women's wrestling, I more hear about Avery at the moment. To be honest with you, like everyone is super stoked on Avery, and she's gone and done stuff over in Perth, and I know they're pretty stoked on her over there as well. I think Avery's like freaking killing it at the moment, and we'll talk about that on our custom episode coming up with our top 5 women's wrestlers that we've seen live. Spoiler alert, I'm fairly sure Avery is in everyone's list. So
absolutely. Not to spoil that, there was one moment where I gained probably the most respect for Avery that I've had was during a hardcore match.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
There was a staple spot where she was getting something stapled to her forehead and it wasn't sticking, and I could see her mouthing, do it again,
nice.
like over and over, and I was like, she's just taken staples to the head, she's like 19, 20 years old, and it was just insane. I was just so enamored with her.
I thought you were going to bring up the cactus.
Well, there was that too. And there was I'm not going to go into too much because I've got so many notes when we do the custom podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that was an insane
show. Now since I'm not there?
You can come on the custom one.
Okay.
right? Like we can do that. That's fine. I'm sure Jules will not be offended if he told me to bring anyone else in that I wanted to as well. So you can, just get your notes together, man. Just put them together, and we'll get you on. We're probably going to do that one this weekend, maybe, if people are available. But that's stuff for us to talk about off the air. Let's bring it back to us. I like the merch discussion, man, because it's very important, and it's a good way for people to make money too, right?
Yeah, fudge bars, amazing. Fudge bars are the best.
Yeah.
And even Luciano selling celery at a show a couple of months ago. Loved it. Walking around with a tray of celery, and I brought one. That was fantastic. I ate celery through a wrestling show. What else can
you know what? Mr. Juicy needs to sell donuts.
Or juice boxes.
No, he's not Mr. Juicy anymore, though. He's Gino Gambino.
He still does the Mr. Juicy gimmick elsewhere, Danders, alright? Melbourne City Wrestling isn't the be-all, end-all. I don't know, he busted out Juicy at Iron Fist, and he busted out Juicy at Rampage as well. He had the donut tights on at Rampage. Yeah. What now?
That's just me sipping from my tea.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to edit all that out because I don't understand it and it makes me angry.
I have a genuine wrestling question.
Yes, that's what you're here for.
I won't know anything then.
Hit me, Mikey, hit me.
You can go for this too, Dan. That's fine. Being the Elite and all the Elite, how are you up to date with Being the Elite?
Yes, I made sure to watch it before we came on air, just in case.
Do we really think potentially Scott Steiner versus Joey Janela?
No.
I hope it is. That is. I really couldn't that is a really weird matchup, but I want to see it.
Yeah, and I think with any of those matches, normally there'd be a 50-50% chance. But when you take in Scott Steiner, he's not your average person. So at best, you've got a 33 to 3% chance.
Wow, perfect reference. Did you have that written down already, or
no?
Wow.
I didn't.
I want to see how much of it you can do. How much? Keep going. Let's keep it.
You know what? I don't know that off by heart. But do you know what I do know off by heart? And this is going to test our younger listeners. Have you ever bought or rented a videotape that wasn't quite right? It may have been a pirate copy, an illegal and inferior copy for which you paid good money.
No.
Yeah, are you guys not old enough to know what I'm talking about?
No, I do. I just think you're entirely random at this point. It's getting late. Let's put a pin in it there, guys. Thanks so much for coming on. I guess Mikey, you're a caller, so you don't get to give your plugs. But Dandis, where can people find you?
Big boy Mikey 86.
Son of a bitch.
I'm actually your favorite Insta ho is actually on an Insta break at the moment, so eventually I will be back, but you won't be able to find me on Instagram at the moment. I am trying to use Twitter, so please follow at Danderfield and I'll follow you back because I am a follow back girl. And just remember that the numbers don't lie and they spell disaster for you. And don't add me on Facebook.
I am Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. Hold on one second. I'm going to unmute Chapo. He's still in here. Let's. Oh, crap. I pressed the wrong button. Hang on.
Oh, my God. You Chapo.
Chapo. Chapo.
G'day.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people where they can find you on Twitter, just in case that anyone wants to hear more Chapo? We let Mikey do it. So
okay, if you want to find me on Twitter, look up the Broken Chapo. You'll find me there. Currently, I'm just running a poll on there, so you'll find me.
Do I follow you on Twitter? Now I feel bad. I feel like I do.
No, you don't follow me. Only one who follows me is Big Boy.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I will follow you immediately.
In my defense, I don't know how to use Twitter. I'm happy to follow you, but I don't know how to use Twitter. What I do know is that if you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance, and you've got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice.
Nice.
She's Googled it at this point. That's cheating.
I know. Hey, Danders, I've just seen something on Twitter you might be interested in.
Well, feel free to tag me.
I will, if I can remember your Twitter.
It's Danderfield. It's like Dangerfield, but with a D.
And we
Okay.
collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit the B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. If you want to get in on these call-in shows, and if you want to tell us what you want us to talk about, patreon.com/the B Plus. That's the place to do it. Thank you so much for listening.
In the danger zone.
Hold one. Arm drag. You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon. You just made the list.
So, no speak English.
Goodbye and good night. Hold two. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Hold three. The moss covered.